Hey, Ryan here. So I'm going to just help you guys as best I can to understand what it is that I'm doing on a daily basis in terms of like my food consumption, because I get a lot of questions about that. And I know Maria from the Hippocrates Health Institute wanted me to answer this question for a lot of people that are new to the group here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you behind the scenes here, kind of like a cribs, like for food. So here's the bottom line. First of all, I'm not perfect. I'll just be right up front and tell you that. I'm doing the best that I can to live this lifestyle. I can tell you that right now, I'm in probably the best shape that I've been in my entire life. And I only do that I don't know if you can see the veins and everything, but those veins, like I've never been able to get I don't know if you can see the definition that I have here. These are some of the results that I've gotten. I feel younger. I'm 48 years old right now. I have been living this way. I've been living a vegan-esque lifestyle for about 10 years, visiting Hippocrates down here in South Florida. I live in Jupiter. I'm not very far. I don't really have that much of an excuse to not follow this way because I'm not that far from it. My buddy Bruce brought me over there years ago, and I learned some of the strategies, and I've just slowly but surely been incorporating it until I really started taking the online program. I really didn't totally incorporate all of the strategies because I just didn't know them. Having said that, about a year and a half ago, I started the online program. I've very much so been starting to incorporate and just ravagingly like consuming the information. I really got into the program and started to really understand what the benefits were and the why behind it. That's how my mind works, is once I know why, I want to do it much more. And I was just really curious. I'm a N of one, in these big clinical studies. Ironically, I used to be a biotech rep. So yes, I've seen the other side of things. I've seen the pharmaceutical side. And so I know what what we're up against. And I know that I believe now that yes, our bodies can heal us. There's so much that I could go into about that. So anyway, so let me just start with, what I eat on a daily basis. So I do my best to first of all, key is to go to bed as close to 10 o'clock as possible. We get our best sleep before 10 and 2. That allows me to get up really early, start my day right by doing a meditation with some sort of either Wim Hof or Bastrika breathing. I do Bastrika. You can look that up on YouTube. And that really helps me start my day off. And then I go right into the 5 Tibetan rites. Super easy yoga postures. Anybody can do them. You can do them in anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes, depending on how many you do. You'll do up to 21 reps. That's how I integrate my exercise, is because it's the first thing that I do in the morning. The other thing that's great about going to bed by 10 is that when I get up that early at 4 or 5, the day is my oyster. Like I can start off my day and I've got so much energy. When I do that, I usually get a really, really good deep night's sleep. And like I said, my meditations are amazing. After I do the Bastrika breathing and I do the Tibetan rites, I go into meditation for about 20 minutes. I do transcendental meditation. I've done the training for that. You can do any type of meditation, even just heart math meditation for 3 minutes, phenomenal. As far as my diet, so this is before I even do the diet thing, okay? So the diet, first of all, the night before sets me up for my diet success the next day. The most important thing for me is to stop eating by 6. If I stop eating by 6 and I go to bed by 10, I'm setting myself up for a great day the next day, because I know that I can basically be intermittent fasting or be fasting even if I start eating at like 10 or 11 o'clock. I'm still fasting for a good solid 16 hours, which I found is just amazing for my body. And the first thing that I'm having in the morning, typically what I'll have in the morning is I'm having a wheatgrass shot. After I have my lemon and cayenne water in the morning, I hydrate, first thing in the morning, so I can get to as close to that 90 ounces a day of water consumption. Distilled water, I've got a distiller I'll show you here in a second. But anyway, so I typically will have my wheatgrass shot about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll have my green drink, my sprout juice, I like to call it, right after that, 16 ounces of that. And then I do that again in the evening. So I'm not even eating yet. I'm just consuming juices, getting the hormones, oxygen, phytochemicals, enzymes into my body, and that is so critical. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm supplementing with raw living spirulina, about an ounce a day for just maintenance, in order to get those extra omegas and all the other benefits that you can see in raw living spirulina. And then I typically will have one sprout salad at around 12:30. Sprout salad or energy soup. So I'll do like an energy soup, something that's easy to consume, that just goes through my body really quick, that is easily digested with these pre-digested amazing foods that we've learned from Hippocrates, which are the sprouts, pre-digested for us. So that's what I'll typically have at around noon. And then in the evening, I'll do some sort of a raw food, some sort of a raw meal. I do supplement a lot to get a lot of nutrition from like nut milk. So I'll do like sprouted almond nut milk, or sprouted pumpkin seed nut milk, or sprouted sunflower seed nut milk, in order to get because I'm almost 180 pounds, I'm 6'4". I enjoy doing a lot of exercise. I play pickleball at least 6 hours a week with my son, who lives up in Stewart, and we play competitively. And that's how I get a lot of my cardiovascular exercise. How I get my actual like weightlifting exercise is I do use a TRX band system. I don't know if you've seen them, they're about $100. You can put them in any door jamb at the top, and you can do all kinds of pull workouts to really get a lot of a good muscle workout, some really good resistance workout. What I'm doing to incorporate that is just to do it like first thing in the morning while I'm still fasting, because what happens is I increase that testosterone level in my body by really stressing my muscles and tearing the muscle fibers. That really increases my testosterone level, which is during the intermittent fasting, the HGH production is really highest in the morning when I'm on that 14-hour phase of the fast. So that's when I like to work out, is in the morning as opposed to in the evening. And again, I'll do the TRX, and then I'll try to do 100 push-ups throughout the day. And what's great about the breath work is that it sets me up to really be able to feel energized, so that I'm able to get those push-ups in, to do the TRX. And I'll do that, typically the TRX, like 3 to 4 times a week, every other day. And I'll do that about 20 minutes a day. So not that much, not that, as high intensity as I could possibly get it. And then for stretching, I do yoga. I practice yoga at least once, mostly twice a week. Some advanced level of yoga locally here. I go to Thrive Power Yoga. I also go to Native Yoga here. I've been doing that for about 10 years. And that really helps me also with strength a lot. Now, some people will say it doesn't. It does. The other thing is, water is critically important. Like I said, distilled water is critical for me to really have that good source of water. I do I make my water every day in the distiller, and then some of the results that I've gotten. I have 10 times more energy. Oh my gosh, my skin is so much more healthy. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I do here. I do grow my own sprouts, by the way. I have scars that are on my legs here. These scars, I don't know if you can see them, but literally they were like about a year ago, they were much bigger, and they're constantly flaking and getting smaller and smaller and smaller, I've noticed, over the past year. That never has happened. My skin tone is better. My skin color is better. I've lost 20 pounds, and I've got, if you can see, I'm very, very toned. If I have my shirt off, people are like, oh my gosh, you're super toned. And it's just, I've never been able to get this way. I've tried my entire life on different diets, exercises, routines, blah, 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 blah. But this is the only way that I found to do it. And it's a combination of everything that I'm telling you right now. So, and there's so many benefits. My blood sugars don't swing up and down like they used to when I was playing pickleball or playing any sort of sport. When I used to play tennis, I used to all of a sudden just get no energy. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. My blood work's gotten better. I know I used to have a mild case of hypertension, even though I was pretty much at my regular BMI and I was at a really good weight, and people thought I looked great. But the bottom line is that underlying all this is just a low level hypertension that comes from just eating meats. And by the way, the other thing is the things that I don't eat are as important as what I do eat. No dairy, really no sugars. Only about 20 to 30% of my sugars come from fruit. I only eat about 20-30% of my overall diet is fruit on a per weight basis. What else? No dairy, no meat, no sugars, no gluten. And that's the big thing. I do the rebounder as much as I can, at least twice a day. I just keep it right in the hallway here, and I can just jump on it whenever I want. That gets the lymph moving. I also use my red light therapy. This one's awesome from BioLite. Really great. This thing's really cool. It's got near infrared and far infrared. This is $250. I turn that on in the morning. I use it as a nightlight, and I shine it everywhere I possibly can on my body. There's so many different strategies for doing that as well. I'll show you what I got. I'll give you the behind the scenes. Okay, so I'm gonna show you here. So you can see I do sprout. You can see I've got wheatgrass growing here. I do put some weight on top of it here. I do have, my sunnies growing there. I get a ton of stuff from Got Sprouts. So you can see I've got coconut water and that I'm gonna make into a cultured coconut yogurt there. I've got all my supplements here, enzymes, B12. You can see I've got Conscious Brain, Colloidal Silver. There's my ferment. That's another big part of what I have. I have ferments every single day. And then I've just got sunflower sprouts. You can see my pea sprouts there. I go through about 12 to 15 pounds of sunflower sprouts. I do at least twice a day of, I do 2 ounces of wheatgrass twice a day. This is wheatgrass. I grow that, and I also get supplements. Here's the energy soup that I made today. Here's the energy soup. I'll just show you. There you go. Leftover. That's the great thing about it, is that you can have it left over. And then I've got all my nuts and seeds in here. Pumpkin. These are great because they're not, what you call it? Pumpkin sunflower. Here's my spirulina. I usually do it raw. Tons of grains that I also sprout as well. Kamut, spelt. You can see my almonds. So these are, the great thing about these almonds from Terrasol is they're not, whatchamacallit. They're totally non-GMO, and they're not hydrolyzed, but I forget, they can't be, I forget the word, but anyway, I'll think of it in a second here. There's my Omega juicer that I use twice a day. I also do 16 ounces of sprout juice with the typical, protocol that Hippocrates has, which is the cucumber and celery based recipe. There's my rebounder that's just sitting up against the wall here. I just put that down. Typically I just have it sitting like that, and I just bound on this thing whenever I get the chance. And then there's my distiller running pretty much 24/7. There's my watermelon that we're gonna have later on today, and I'm doing all kinds of sprouts. And I do even have you can probably, I don't know if you can see it outside, but I do even have a vertical garden out there with a worm composter. And then finally, I'll show you here. So I've got here's my other setup here. So this is where I do a lot of my heavy duty sprouting here. I've got this has got an LED light system. It's got fans for moving the air. And then you can see I've got all my sunflower sprouts. So typically, this is typically all filled up here. So because I go through a lot of sprouts, as I told you. What else? Oh, I keep my dehydrator. It's kind of a weird place to put it, but I keep my dehydrator here in the bathroom running. I do a lot of almond sprouting. So I've got my almonds. There's I'm dehydrating them. Tons of them. I go through a ton of and I can rehydrate them and make the almond milk with those whenever I want, which is awesome. To just have those ready. And then there's my lemon water with cayenne that's sitting there room temperature, ready to consume. What else? That's really it. The big things, as Brian said, and I would agree, is having a really good Vitamix as well, and then having the hydrator and the juicer. These are all really, really key. And then obviously the distiller, key success components. And of course, knowing your why. And I've always got that reminder up there, to show me what my why is. So anyway, and to remind me, not that I need reminding, but it's just good to have that up there. So anyway, like I said, I'm not perfect. Every once in a while, I do have coffee. There are some really good supplements out there, and I'll show you. Yeah, so I'm sprouting here. I got my sprout jars. I do have chlorella, and yes, I do enjoy cacao every once in a while. It is one of my secret guilty little pleasures. And then I do have the Dandy Blend instant herbal beverage. This is good. I do supplement with some protein powder every once in a while. And I do have my carob powder back there, which is really, really good as well. But I'm sprouting a lot. I mean, my son loves it. He sprouts. He's going up to college to University of Florida in about 2 months to be a veterinarian. And one of the reasons why he didn't stay in the dorm was because he wanted to sprout. Pretty cool. So it does work if these kids and other people see us doing it and they see the changes that happen, then how could it's really impossible for them to not want to do it when they see the transformation, which he's seen over the past year and a half. So anyway, let me know any other ways I can support, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I do have my own channel where I help people with, and I support people. It's called Go Living Raw. Just go to golivingraw.com. And you can find my I've got a Go Living Raw Academy Facebook group. It's $29 a month right now for the first members. I got a small group that just started. I just got certified in the online training program about 2.5-3 months ago. So I'm just getting started because I really want to share this with other people and get other people to really embrace this lifestyle as well. So thanks. Oh, and I'm also going to be traveling. I'm going to go on a remote year tour once everything blows over, and going to be sharing, my lifestyle and how I eat, etc., with other people throughout the world as well, which is going to be really cool. So anyway, thanks. Talk to you soon, and hit me up if you have any questions. Bye.